House Democrats boycotted the opening day of Minnesota's 2025 legislative session in an effort to stop Republicans from using a temporary majority to advance their agenda. But GOP representatives forged ahead and named their leader as Speaker in a move that Democrats rejected. The Democratic side of the House chamber was empty as lawmakers convened today. Secretary of State Steve Simon declared they did not have 68 members he had said would be needed for a quorum and adjourned the House. Under Minnesota law, the Secretary of State calls the House to order at the start of a session, declares whether a quorum is present, and hands over the gavel when a speaker is elected.
There being 67 members present, there is no quorum as required by the Constitution of the state of Minnesota.
Mr. Secretary.
The House may not conduct any further business, and the House of Representatives
Mr.
is
Secretary.
adjourned.
But Republicans stayed in their seats, saying that with 67 members present, they had a quorum.
Mr. Secretary, I move to appeal the ruling of no quorum under Mason's 504 paragraph 5 and request a roll call. Mr. Secretary, the House is not adjourned. You do not have authority over the House of Representatives. Minnesota law requires the members of the House of Representatives to meet at noon on Tuesday in the House chamber. As you can see, the DFL caucus has violated the law for the express purpose of preventing the House from organizing and beginning its work. The Secretary of State is not a member of the legislative branch and has no constitutional authority over the House of Representatives. The constitutional authority to determine the rules of its proceedings and elect its presiding officer rests solely with the House, not with the Secretary of State.
Republicans then voted to elect their top leader, former Minority Leader Lisa Demuth of Cold Spring, as Speaker.
Representative Lisa Demuth is a leader who understands that the path forward often requires balance, balancing boldness with collaboration, leadership with humility, and vision with pragmatism. A leader that shows others how to live by virtue. She will bring that balance to the Speaker's office, ensuring that this body remains a place where we can work together, find common ground, and make Minnesota a better place for all.
The results of the roll call on the election of the Speaker are as follows. Representative Demuth, 67 votes. And I therefore declare Representative Lisa Demuth duly elected Speaker of the House of Representatives for the state of Minnesota for the 25-26 session.
Demuth vowed to work tirelessly to foster a culture of respect and civility in the House, but didn't directly mention the boycott in her acceptance speech. And House Democrats said the GOP actions were illegal and that Demuth is not Speaker. Republicans, meanwhile, say they are ready to get to work.
Afternoon, indeed. We saw something on the floor of the Minnesota House of Representatives today that we have never seen in Minnesota history, a completely sham proceeding. Republicans did not have a quorum. The Secretary of State has the authority to call the House to order. They completely ignored that and engaged in a sham proceeding unlike anything we could have imagined.
There is serious work that needs to be done here in the state of Minnesota. House Republicans chose to show up for the people of Minnesota and get started on that work, and we will continue going forward. We look forward to when our Democrat colleagues choose to join us and choose to represent the areas that they have been elected by voters. Right now, we know that they will have to answer to the people of Minnesota for skipping work today. But there's a lot of work to do here in Minnesota, and we can't wait to get started.
Secretary of State Simon said in a statement that he intends to ask the Minnesota Supreme Court to rule that the GOP moves today were not legitimate.
Lakeland News is a nonprofit news organization. Donate to Lakeland PBS today to support your local news team.